So yeah, another 2003 Chevy pickup. This one's branded GMC. You see it's got the same Perndle issue that the other one had. Different mileage, 150,000. It's about 50,000 less. And here's something interesting. Now you'll notice it's got the tow haul button. So you push a button here, and you can see nothing's happening. It should be eliminating right there. But if I play with it, see there, tow haul comes on for a minute. So let's bump this up and down. I'm not on the button at all. See, the button's not affected. And the tow haul comes on and off. Now the bad thing about this is the shift patterns for when you're in tow haul are really annoying. Another thing that was a problem with this is that you know, if you put it in 4 low or 4 high, it makes it come on more so than if you don't. So we'll go, once is reverse, another's neutral, so that we can put it in 2-wheel drive. Wait for it, and it goes clack really hard because we've got a bad couple of U-joints on the back drive line. So we're in tow haul mode, and there's no getting out of it. It's just doing its own thing there. And then we're out. And if it's out of tow haul mode, everything's fine, everything's great. But like I say, if it's in tow haul mode, it just really clunks hard, especially with those bad U-joints. Say for example, we throw the computer up here. You can see the highlighted one is the tow haul mode. And it shows inactive and the light's off. I'll play with the gear selector. See, no, it's not doing it. That's in, oh, there we go. Okay, so illuminated. Of course we go here and it shows that the tow haul mode is active. So it's being requested, but usually what happens is you don't get anything with this at all. And clearly that light is not going on and off as I hit this button. But the wires become broken. There's just 2 little wires. Anyway, this truck needs some love. It needs some U-joints, and it needs some work on this so it's not always in tow haul mode and banging and jerking. It's got a ridiculous number of codes. So if we go into a transfer case, because it said service 4-wheel drive, it's a T in the bin, hit enter, see your diagnostic trouble codes, and then let's see, read codes, history codes. So we get in there and look at, we got just days of codes. We got all kinds of stuff going on. Rear prop shaft signal malfunction. That could be from the, it's got a ridiculous amount of play. So I'm thinking maybe a vibration or something with that. I don't know what all of these are necessarily. Neutral indicator circuit. It's like it's got a pinched wire somewhere else. I'm wondering if this could be related to it. Description unavailable, unavailable. And this is with the Genesis OTC. What's funny is I can't even find a menu for 4-wheel drive or anything on my Autel MaxiDOS 750, 780, whatever that thing is. That thing's like Swiss cheese. It doesn't cover shit when you need it to. I'm just tired and cranky. I apologize. So anyway, we'll hook that up and we'll show you what we get on that. Let's back out to, alright, transfer case, ABS. Just go, this doesn't even have any, see, this is like Swiss cheese too, because it doesn't have any of the body stuff. You've got the heating and air conditioning, but you don't have any of the special tests for lighting or anything like that. So here's all the trouble codes that we have in the body control module on this vehicle using this scanner. This is a common code with was one of the 9 other codes. These 2 are new that are not on the other one, and it's just really incomplete. Doesn't have everything. So we know the Perndle display is messed up. It's not showing like it should. I'm wondering if there's some shorted wires in the steering column. Hello, it's not doing anything now. The whole thing's blacked out. Isn't that just fantastic? Anyway, the Perndle, it is just not showing up. No way, no how. So we are going to tear into it. Do a little rock climbing pull. Fingernail pull like we did to the Chevy yesterday. Pull this back out. The hazard lights come on. Set it aside, and we're going to pull that out and solder that up. And then we're going to get in there and figure out what the heck's going on with that. Probably going to figure this out first so that we have a display to tell us when it's going or not. I can use my scanner to do that, but it's easier to just use this. So here's the tow haul story. The wire is severed here. It's a little 2-wire thing. This was actually just 2 white wires. So it was just a mess up in there, so it was getting bumped all the time, making it go on and off, but it was incomplete circuit. And what's interesting about this is, see if I can get this zoomed out enough. So as I tap these wires together, it makes it come on, and then you have to tap it together again the second time, like this, and it goes off. Together, on, together, off, together, on, together, off. So it just sends the request to it that way, but it's not like you can just put it together. If you take the 2 wires and you get them to make contact and stay that way, it will never change. You can't wire it to be on or to be off. It's a matter of bumping it. So a momentary spring-loaded switch here, you know, to go on or off, you just bump it and it would turn it on or off. So that's the way that this switch is. So due to the nature where you have to touch the wires together and let them go, it's like a horn button. So you have to have something that says momentary push button switch. So I got the smallest little thing I could find like this, just a little 2-wire Yahoo, and we'll throw this in the dash, and that way you can just hit it and do it just like on the shift selector, but independent, so it's not always having to move and not breaking wires. So tow haul used to be right here, and of course I've got the wire strung underneath. I've got that little clip thing. I can punch a hole in the end of this and clip it in there, and then it's just 2 wires, so I'm just going to use your traditional speaker wire like this. I've got a fog light switch box here. I was going to do it here, but there's just no good place to put the switch, that little momentary. So I thought, well, here's your switch for your fog lights, and then I got this empty plate here, so we'll use that. So it was a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I was able to pop this out from there, unplug it, and then get the back side to come apart like it's a relay box. And then I got a nice little box to mount my switch in. Now unfortunately it's got all kinds of junk and crud, you know, plastic molding junk in there, but I think I can still fit it in there with this fog light switch and just have it be right here. And then I'll just use my label maker, do a little tow haul sticker. So I took the switch and went along here until I found one that was the right diameter to be bigger than the threads, but not bigger than what this little ring is. So I've got it. So let's go ahead and make a hole. So I took the switch, lined it up with this, and just kind of get that so that it's even, you know, straight across. And then I checked the switch to make sure that the height is going to be okay on this. And it looks like I can pretty much get that right in the middle anyway, or at least close enough. So lining it up, going across. So I need to make a hole right about there, and that's where I want it anyway, because I got trim bezel stuff around it anyhow. So here we go. Pilot hole's your friend. Get it right in the middle, right about where your spot is. Make a mark and sink that. Hold on tight. As it goes through, it's going to grab it a little bit. It's plastic, it's not going to kill you, but might smart, might really get you and remind you for next time. So I got that just a little bit high, but it's going to be okay, so I'm going to favor coming down this way with the big bit. We're slapping this in there on the cheap. That's what we're doing. We could be really careful if we wanted to. I kind of am. Okay. My goodness. Let's try doing this in reverse. I have to go bigger and bigger holes. So this is being a real pain. This ABS plastic ain't having it. That's fine. I got patience. I got sunshine. I got my girl who could ask for anything more. Hopefully some of this is in frame right. Let's see, where's my target spot? Right there. This little box is where I'm working. That's where I'm doing it. Why don't we just buck up and buy a new lever and switch and everything? I'll tell you why we're not doing that. Because they bend and they break and they suck. Why would we do that? Alright. Moment of truth. Are we going to win? Let's grab a razor blade and clean that up a little bit. Target box right there. Don't cut towards yourself. Haven't you spent years with the Boy Scouts teaching everybody else not to do that? Oh, god darn it. The trouble with having an audience, huh? Keep you honest, that's for sure. Alright, so throw this in there. And it doesn't matter polarity because the wires just need to touch together momentarily. Oh, I need more. Clean up inside the box. Got that little thing right there. Gotta get that to pop off. Throw this in there again. I don't want it sticking out that far, so we're gonna do this. That's just too dang far. I want to minimize as much. And you can run this a couple ways. You can do it this way or this way, whatever. Somebody's going to want the part number of this thing. It's a Dorman 85980, if you can find that anywhere. I found one at O'Reilly's. 85980. I'll put a link to one online if I can't find it elsewhere easy. That'll make it easy, huh? I'm here to help. So I got just a couple of threads if I go that way. That's not going to fly right. So turn it, twist it, get it to drop. Then put it on. Oh, god darn it. Okay. Now we're back in the frame. Okay, so that fits as far as this goes. That's all happy. Now the other trouble of the thing is getting the wire to get in there to begin with. Okay, now is that going to fit? It looks like it's going to fit. It looks like I'm like right where I need to be. So, click it together. I'm going to take the back end of this out. I want access. Because I'm spoiled. What am I going to cut this with anyway? We don't even need any of this here anyway. Because we got these tabs and they'll hold it and I didn't break anything there. So I don't know why I was fussing around with that. Try to keep everything factory pretty nice, whatever, like I got some dang reason for it. But the bottom line is this truck's high miles, falling apart. We're trying to make it work, so let's work it, right? Now we gotta pay attention what. See, that's all I wanted. That's all I needed. That's not gonna make noise or rattle or do anything wrong. What the heck was I fussing with that for? It's because I'm tired and I didn't think it through, that's why. I'm trying to just make a quaint little access hole. Alright, what an a-hole access hole. So, clean up around here. I don't like working with all this mess. Let's put some stuff away. Figured out why I'm so cranky. I haven't had lunch yet. So I just need a short bit of wire to extend this. So I got some speaker wire because it's just a 2-wire thing, right? So get that out of the way. I'm going to use this as a connection to go to my other factory wire. So I need a couple of connectors that'll fit that. And you know, free is free. Take what you can get. So I got some speaker wire I didn't use on something else. So I'm going to clip my connectors and just make them fit. We could tape them and just make a permanent connection, but what's the fun in that? Let's have it able to take apart from anywhere, anyhow, because why not? Because we can, it's easy. Okay, so this is going to live here. That's done. This one, it's got a hole in it, so I'm just going to use half of it. We'll cut it about right there. Just put it to your knee. You've been bad. Over the knee. Smack. That's how I was raised. Not saying it's the best, but it worked for me. Here we go. Can't raise my kids that way though. Wind up getting put away or something. Okay, so I've got connectors to put on there. On this side, I'm going to be putting on some of these little beauties. Bluties. They're blue. So just take this, open it up just wide enough. It's easier to do it out here than in the car. That's what this is all about. So I'll just strip this guy, that guy, throw these on, spin both sides so that I don't get little extra wires hanging out being rebels. Little rebels. Polarity is completely irrelevant, as I've stated before. So put the pincher to it, crimper. My stomach is just growling. Feed me. It's like 2 in the afternoon. I hate being such a slave to my stomach. My metabolism sucks. I need some snow so I can ski so I don't get all flabby in the winter. I've been hitting the climbing gym pretty good, but y'all see what's going on here, right? So I'm just putting all this together. I'll snake these around. I'll pop this in. These will connect and have a quick disconnect so you don't have to get into this box, because it was a little bit of a pain getting this thing to unclick from here and here. Look how fat and big and obnoxious those are. It's hard to get it out. So anyway, I'll put a little label that says tow haul right here and throw this all back in together. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. So here's how we look. I'm in a box, all plugged in. I got room to spare. A little momentary switch, just like honking a horn. So this is going to go, I've got the wires strung up through here and back around this side. What I did is I brought them through where there's a lot of room and then just kind of hooked it around. I got excess, but I'll be able to plug this in no problem. I trimmed these little connectors back a little bit on the bench grinder on the plastic side so that they'd go in there, got them pinched into place. And so I'm ready to just push this in. If I have extra, the extra wires got lots of room, excuse me, back there. And then if I want to shove any of this extra back up in there, then that's fine too. And it's speaker wire, it's tough, good, protected stuff. So bam, bam, got a new tow haul spot. I kind of made it in the middle of the thing, and that's great. I'm not gonna have a lot of room for labeling, but I could put a label right over the crack here and it wouldn't hurt anything. So rock and roll, cooch coo. Another thing that I did is it's got that little safety thing that's supposed to go in right here, I believe. There's all these little spots where it just kind of clicks in and gets retained. But I went ahead and put the steering wheel all the way up, and I drilled a hole in the side of this right here. So we got a little home, it's all clicked in. And it's going to go up over the top, and there's a dead space here. You can wrap it with foam tape or, you know, sticky tape or whatever, but this is covered in rubber so it won't rattle. You don't want something rattling behind the dash. That drives me freaking crazy. So other people don't seem to care because I drive cars with rattles all the time, but I try not to make any, right? Right. All that rattle talk's real funny coming from the guy that drives an 01 Ram with a dashboard from Hades that's all cracked up and rattling, but whatever. So here's this, it's just kind of floating and suspended in there, and I really like that. I just stuffed all the extra back up in here. Everything looks really good. So we're gonna put the clamshell back on this guy and put the bezel on and stick a label to it. Bam, bam, bam. When you go to put the clamshell on, you'll notice that this has just got a little wiggle clip, and to get it off from here, this is like the little tilt mechanism device. To get it out, you just stick a screwdriver back here on the bottom side of it in that little space and turn it, and it'll pop it out. As for the clamshell, there's no screws in the bottom of this. You know, I've looked and they're all just, it's drilled for it, but they're not threaded. So when you look at the bottom of this thing, there's all these holes for screws, like here and here, but there's no screws in it. They're not threaded at all. Nothing ever happened. That's where the tilt is. And you got these little hooks in the back end of it. So the top one needs to go on first, and once the top one's in, then you have something to hook into and put the rest of it on. So we'll put the top on first. So you get a good happy meeting in the middle. Come on, focus. Gosh, never weld with a camera. Bad idea. Makes focusing impossible. So these go around the outside of here. You can see where your little tilt steering thing goes. You just get that all aimed up and pop it in there. When you hear the click, you're safe. Seatbelt campaign still stuck in my head. Alright, so the same thing, just click it down in here. Make sure you go over the boot and then you go back through. I know you can't see, it's too dark, sorry. But you just go back and just pull the boot in. Call it good, and bada bing, look at that thing. So we'll reach through, pull the tilt it down, grab our little instrument cluster bezel, throw our gear selector in low, push the brake, drop it, slide this in like this, critical point is this guy, and we're clear. Inevitably the hazards are going to come on. Don't worry about it. I'll get the bezel on. We're looking good. Our switch looks just awesome. So we'll reach through the bottom of the wheel so we can one-hand this with the camera. That right there, right? So turn off the hazard lights, turn the key on. So does it work? Push the button, find out. I guess you gotta have it running. I don't have any ventilation. Alright, so let's fire this up. Push the tow haul button, and there's nothing on it. Now why is that not working? That's a whole nother fun ball of wax. Let's try this. Tow haul on, tow haul off. On, off, on, off. Push button just like it was on here. That's pretty clean. I think that's about the cleanest install you can do for that stupid thing. Looks good. Let's play with it. On, off, on, off. I like it. What I don't like is the stupid display's not working now. I have no idea why. That's concerning. Even the odometer. Yoo-hoo! That's all on and off. You gotta have the key on to make those go. Alright. Tell me I plugged that in. Okay, we got no... Okay, I see what it is. It's the dimmer switch. I had it turned down all the way. So, let's try again. Oh, that worried me, but I accidentally bumped the dimmer switch. Herndl went away again. Back to the drawing board. So this is the ones right here and here that run that Herndl display, I believe. Get all the clear stuff off of that. That's something odd. There's your anomaly right there. Alright, get to the iron side. Do what you know what you're supposed to do. Oh crap, those are touching again. More touchers. Touchy-feely bunch. Not much trouble. There we go. In there, get it. So I gotta really scrutinize and look at these and make sure that we're all good again. It's easy to see, there's such a big wiggle hole that these go through. It's easy to see vibration and the weight of that thing jacking it up. And that means knackered, for shit sold, broken. That's what that means. Alright, let's see if we win. Sorry about this little button thing. I think that was from filming something being welded. Anyway, Chevy GMC truck, got the display in. Worked on it one more time, got the thing separated. Do we have a Herndl? Come on, baby. Oh, look at that beautiful Herndl. Right there. Looking good. Just need to make sure there wasn't a solder blob between anything else, and I think they joined up and that's what killed it. But it wasn't on the pin thing that's behind here where the plug is. It was on the little display doohickey. So that's new. But having the lights on is new too, and that's what we like. Woohoo!